Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And I'm just going to wait a second and see if somebody else joins me live here. When you do join me, please say hello so that I know that you are here. Adjust my monitor a little better here. There we go. And my feed just cleared up its blurriness. So, welcome. Today I am going to do my first play with something from the Flowering Field Suite. Today I'm actually going to be using these flowering tulips and tulips dies, which I've used a sentiment or two out of flowering tulips before, but I haven't done anything with the images. I did use this border die on a card that I used with mostly those dies, but anyhow, and I'm going to be using these tulip, they're builder dies. I'll show them to you in a moment, and I'm going to be using them with a celebration item, the Simply Marvelous 6x6 Designer Series paper. Here it is, and as I have said before, celebration here in the South Pacific Australia market has been extended to the 16th of March, and this is because when celebration started in January, there were quite a few items in the brochure that were not available to us because of the global shipping supply chain crisis. Hello, Paula, glad you're here, and Roseanne, you too. Thanks for joining me. So the piece of Simply Marvelous paper I decided to use today is the one that is Blushing Bride and Flirty Flamingo. You can see there are two sides. One is a more marbly, natural marbly kind of pattern, and the other is what we kind of think of as marbled paper, like that's done on books and bookends and such. So I've actually gone ahead. Oh, let me show you real fast. This is Blushing Bride and there's Flirty Flamingo, and they do go quite well together. And we'll bring those in a little while to do some things. But I wanted to show you, here's the stamp set. And here's part of the dies. This has stems and leaves. There's also a skinny stem. It cuts like that. And I've actually gone ahead and cut pieces in advance today. Oh my gosh. I believe I'm really organized today. Did I just jinx myself? Probably. So here are the builder dies, and I had to go find somebody else's video to learn really fast how they assemble. So there are 3 of these center bud type pieces, center petals, which is good because each of the 3 tulip shapes requires that. So that's really easy to cut. And this one, you use one of those, one of those, one of those, and a bud. And then this V-shaped piece gets used with both of these 3-part pieces. So I'm going to show you how these get put together. And I cut 2 of each. There is a little bit of, this paper is so busy it's hard to see it. If you were to do it with plain cardstock, you'd be able to see there's a little bit of embossing that happens from these cutouts. So I was just going to show you, this is, so they are, for all, you know, I was thinking I could choose which one I wanted to do and just fold it backwards, but you really do need to have it put on the right side of the paper for what you want to make. So I cut 2 sets, one on the lighter side and one on the darker side. So we'll see what we like, and we might mix and match them. I don't know. But each of these, where the petals meet up, they have a little raised part that doesn't cut through, but it does make a score mark to be able to fold them more easily. And they just go together like that. And you just slide that in where you want it to make your tulip bud. I think it's supposed to be like that. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the back there. This glue is so strong. People just don't believe me when I say just that little tiny dot of glue is going to be just what we need to hold that in place there. Another little dab there and there. And there it is. We're going to do the same one. We're just going to build them as we go. This is supposed to have both of these in here. Yeah. So, what's happening in your worlds these days? Paula, I know what you're dealing with, and I'm so sorry. I hope it all resolves quickly and very painlessly for you and your dad and your brothers. Kind of like how the pattern's kind of going various ways on this. Just pinching that in place there for a minute. One looks kind of funky, doesn't it? Okay. working on class stuff. I had a class, well, I had one class, but I had a session Thursday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and then one more person who came last night because she couldn't come either of the other times. So this has been kind of the never-ending class, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. People need to schedule things as they need. That's just fine. Slide that down a little bit. And then I've got another class coming up this Saturday again. It's all about kids cards. So, okay, so there are my 3 sets of tulips. And I'm going to move those aside while I work on some of the rest of the card. This one came out pretty funky looking. I thought I was going to like these darker ones better than these lighter ones, but I'm not sure that's true, especially with this one. So, oh, I've got 2 of them there. That's the problem. Let me give you an idea what I'm doing here. So I've got a piece of basic white that I've run through from the Stripes and Splatters 3D embossing folders. There's another one that's got stripes on it. This one I've used the splatters, and I've got it on a piece of, this one's on Blushing Bride. First I thought, oh, well, we'll make up both sets of tulips and we'll decide which one to back it on. Then I decided I'd go ahead and make 2 cards, one with each. So I think that's going to be good for that. And then I've got one with the Flirty Flamingo. Get it straight. You just held your first class. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Did you have a lot of people there? And then I have these little itty bitty skinny stems. And a set of leaves for each one. One last Wednesday and 3 today. Awesome. And were these new people or people that I would know from classes I've held or Nikki's held? Or are these all new people for you? Leaves. Okay, clearly I need to play with this part a little more, figure this out. How these are going to go on here. So I've all of these white leaves and stems I did on adhesive back. I put adhesive on sheets on the back of the basic white before I cut them out, and I hope that's going to wind up being a good idea. I'm just going to go ahead and start laying them down. Victoria Charlene. Oh, and Michelle I know, and Kiana I know. Cool. Yeah, I have gotten into the white on white a little bit more recently, although I am casing this particular card. So I can't really take full credit for the concept here. And the texture in the background, I think that makes it work better to do the tone on tone when you can have that in there. I think then I'm going to pull in some glue dots to add the flowers on. Maybe there. Funky looking, isn't it? There we go. Oh yes, this is one of the rules. I don't know about in the States, but here we got a big batch of of glue dots rolled the wrong way. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, I've been wondering how Nikki is. I know that she had basically abandoned most things because of her husband's health issues, but I hope she herself is doing okay. So there's one, and we'll just set that aside for a minute. And build up this one now. Cousins are visiting. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you ladies are not being card class deprived. I think it's great you stepped in there. Okay. Anytime somebody wants to come visit me here. Our borders opened this week. First time in almost 2 years. 13 months. No, 23 months. Yes, deciding on card designs is definitely the hardest part. I'd be happy to chat with you at some point about that. I'm going to try this time, kind of hide this. So I'm just picking up 2 glue dots each time I go on there. I think I'd rather have that one on this side. Yeah, I like that. Okay, those away. Now, these are going to get mounted on basic white, but I'm going to have a little extra over here. This one is also done on adhesive sheet. And I'm hoping when I take the adhesive sheet off, it pulls off most of these little inner things. I don't need them all gone because much of this is going to be covered up. To me now. The person I'm casing this from, she has some other dye that she used for this layer that I don't have, so I just found something kind of open and lacy that I thought would work. Yes, I think Pamela is going to be very happy. She and I chatted just briefly, a line or two, that they're going to be making plans once they kind of figure out where Bill's medical treatments are. She's very much wanting to get back here. And of course wants to be with Bill. And I don't know that he was able to come before we opened our borders to tourists, because he doesn't have permanent resident or citizen status here, is my understanding. So that's how that's going to go. And I've got a second one here for this one. I think we'll do it the same way. And I may just go ahead and cut this kind of in half in case I did want to do another one, since it's actually complete. Work, yeah. Sure, opening the right way. Always a good idea. Go. That one's going to go on there. Okay, and then before I go ahead and go ahead and glue them on. Glenn is thrilled because beginning, next week, the advice to work from home if you can is lifted, and the mask mandate for inside is lifted as of midnight Saturday morning, 11:59 Friday night. So it means when he goes in, he won't have to wear his mask. I don't know. I think I don't know if we're moving too fast. All I know is there's going to be a lot of situations where I keep wearing my mask. So put that aside for another time. And now, sentiment. So the woman who I got this idea from, she used "Let today be the start of something new," but I really like this round, "You are so thoughtful, you are so thoughtful, thank you." So I think that's what I am going to do. And we're going to stamp in Versamark and heat emboss in white. And my embossing buddy is in the other room from my class last night. So we're going to live dangerously without it. Excuse me. Oh, hello, Renata. Glad you could join us. Bring in my embossing kit. Oops, sorry about that on the camera. I really like keeping my embossing powders in these containers. I find it just so quick and easy to use. I know some people think they last better if they're in the original little jars, but I have never had a problem because these are airtight too. I live dangerously and I paid the price. Okay, let's see if my brush will do. Can you see I've got lots of extra powder there? So I have this brush. I'm just going to come in and try to clean it up a little bit. There we go. Close that up. Can you see it turning? Yeah, I think you can. Still thrilling. Okay. Bump it in, bump it out. There we go. Now, if I were using all current product, I'd go over to my cut and emboss machine and I'd use a layering circle die to cut these out. But I am perfectly happy to say I have held on to my circle punches because they are so quick and easy to be able to just do that. So this is the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. I think it was a mistake for Stampin' Up! To discontinue the circle punches because I think they could have sold both, but what do I know? Okay, so 1 and too. I don't think so low. Bring in dimensionals. And we could have mixed and matched. That might have been, what do you think? Huh. See if I can get it off without doing too much damage. Yeah. Stay there. We'll just go ahead and do it like this. I think rhinestones. Yeah, I think the Blushing Bride worked well over here because of this, but I think this one needed the Blushing Bride. In fact, I might do a second Blushing Bride one and put it over there. And I might not. I think I'll probably just leave it and move on to other cards. But now where to put these? Should I go for 3 or 5? Maybe the 3. I'm going to come in with my bone folder here and just burnish those on a little bit more. As I see, it keeps lifting up a bit. There. What do you think? I'm pretty pleased with those. There are all kinds of other colors that one could do. I'm looking forward to playing with the stamps, where you can stamp the tulip pieces and cut them out with the dies and the whole tulips too, and layer them up in colors. And yeah, it's going to be It's going to be fun to play with some more. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this carries over in the annual catalog, because it would be nice to have tulips during tulip season here. With our alternate seasons. We are getting ready for autumn to start the 1st of March, and the rest of this week is not going to feel autumnal, but Monday sure did. I actually had to put an extra layer on when I went outside. So anyhow, yes, they would make good Mother's Day cards. And this one doesn't. Yes, this one does have a Mother's Day sentiment there. Happy Mother's Day. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, or you would like to place an order here in Australia, you can contact me, Nancy, at nancysniftynotes.com, or link to my blog, my Facebook pages, my online Stampin' Up! Store through nancysniftynotes.com. I will be back same time, same place next week, and I hope you have a great week and do everything that you want to do, including hopefully some stamping. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again. Bye-bye.